Hello. So in this presentation, I will be talking about the European Union, and here are the details of it. This is the table of contents. The first is the introduction, and it describes the member states. The second slide is where we get the historical development of European Union. The third is where we get the stated objectives of European Union. The fourth is where we know about Canada's history and involvement with the European Union. In fifth, we know the strengths, benefits, and advantages of the European Union. In sixth, we know about the weaknesses, drawbacks, disadvantages of the European Union. And in seventh, we know about how the European Union overall promoted the economic progress uh, worldwide and in general for Europe as well. Then there's a Emily cited list and the thank you slide. So let's start. Yeah, so these are my details and teacher name, course, date, and here's the introduction. The European Union is also known as the EU. It's a political and economic organization, and it has some objectives like promoting peace and stability, and it also has one main objective of economic well-being and development, where it has to do like some yeah. So European Union has worked for promoting peace, stability, and economic development. The European Union is one of the most popular and important organizations as well. And here I will tell about the member states. There are 27 member states in the EU, and they are uh, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, and Sweden. The UK left the European Union in 2020. There are six members who start the European Union, of which one of the main members are France and Germany. And the European Union has its member states who share similar laws and trade. Now we will talk about the historical development of the European Union. The EU started after World War II, mainly because they didn't want any more wars and had to prevent them. They wanted peace. So, firstly, they started the European Coal and Steel Community (ECSC) in 1951, created by France, West Germany, Belgium, etc. In 1957, the Treaty of Rome established the European Economic Community (EEC), so that the common market would be there. And then there was a Maastricht Treaty in 1993, which created the European Union. So it's like the biggest shift. Then there's the euro, which is used by 20 member states. It's a single currency, which has some disadvantages and advantages both. And the EU has its own culture, justice, trade, security, etc. The European Union's main objectives are to promote peace, stability, and security in Europe. Second is encourage economic growth through a single market. Third is protect the environment and fight climate change. Fourth is support scientific and technological progress. Fifth is improve cooperation between member states in many areas like justice, immigration, and safety. Sixth is promote global development and help in international issues. And like all this helps Europe to control the member nations. The European Union, sorry, to control the member nations. Now, Canada is not a member of the European Union, but it still had a strong relationship with the European Union, like on trade, security, climatic conditions, etc. The most important agreements is CETA, which is Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, signed in 2016 between Canada and European Union. The CETA helps trade and open markets between both of them. The European Union is Canada's second largest trading partner after US, because US is the first largest trading partner as it's the nearest to it. They also operate in NATO, etc. Canada has strong economic ties with the European Union, so it's believed that they will keep the partnership for a long time. Now we will talk about the strengths, benefits, and advantages of the European Union. One is single market, that both the companies can trade with fewer barriers. Not both the countries, sorry, the member nations can easily trade with fewer barriers. Second is free movement. You don't really require visas, so people can travel here and there for studies and work related purposes, or even for traveling with ease. There's not much of a problem in that. And then there's strong global influence. EU takes a major part in decision making, as it's one of the main organizations, which creates a global influence in the world. Then fourth, there is a shared currency, euro, which makes trade simpler, lowers currency exchange issues like exchange rate changing, etc. Fifth is peace and stability. There are some like major conflicts that have been stopped, and European Union has a major part in stopping wars. Then sixth is consumer protections. There are high standards for product safety, quality of living, workers' rights, etc. Seventh is environmental control. EU manages climate action and to some extent as well, although it's not its main job, but like they still do that well to their extent. Then these strengths like benefit governments, business, citizens, and more. Like it's an all-rounder benefit for almost everyone. Yeah. Now there are like weaknesses, drawbacks, and disadvantages of the European Union. First is loss of national control. Like countries cannot individually control themselves properly because at times their individual rules may be against some rules of the EU, which can like cause some problems for them, and they don't really have their own individual rights as much as they would without the EU. Second is uneven economic development. Richer countries feel that they should support poor ones financially, and there is overall uneven economic development. Three is migration pressures. Free movement can cause tension about immigration at borders. Fourth is Eurozone issues. Countries sharing the euro can have some problems, like Greece had in their debt crisis. And then we can agree by that this sometimes disadvantages can be worse than the advantages. By that I mean that disadvantages can be greater than the advantages. And then fifth, there is identity and political conflict. The member nations don't really have much of a individual cultural or national identity because all of them are under the EU and they follow the religion and they follow the cultural values of EU. So they don't really have much of individualistic cultures, and it can affect some people. These weaknesses affect governments, citizens, and workers. Now, the last is that the last question, does the EU promote economic progress overall? I would still say that yes, because like I think the advantages are still greater than the disadvantages overall. Although sometimes the disadvantages can be greater than the advantages individually, like few disadvantages can be worse, like really bad. But like I still think that there are more advantages than disadvantages. So there should be economic progress overall. Now, the reasons I think is that the single market increases. The reasons I think that this is true is because the single market increases trade and investment, and that Europe may not be as economically developed without the single market factor, and they may have been like less developed. Second is free movement supports employment, travel, and education, and can give a sense of freedom as well. Third is that shared rules make business easier and raise standards. Fourth is peace and stability. It can like help in economic development and overall well-being, including happiness. Fifth is disagreements between member states can be there, but uh, as most of the member states are still in cooperation and unity, they can control like each other and not like not like cause a rivalry or something. The EU helps its members compete in the global economy. These are the Emily Works cited list.